All right, guys. Well, we are going to do testimonials and some Q&A tonight. I haven't done this in a while, this call anyways, because we've been mixing it up and adding a little bit more training in between. I did want to just make a quick announcement about a couple things. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., if you guys were in Destin or if you weren't in Destin, we are having a Destin for Success 90-day challenge. You guys can show up to that second call. There's a recording out there for the first one that Lola can put in this chat so that you guys can watch it before if you guys want to show up for that tomorrow. It's every other Tuesday for the next 7 weeks and seven every other Tuesdays. So if you guys want to join that call, I'm happy to have you guys on that call to go through this process. This 90-day challenge is just to take your life to the next level. There's just 10 action items that I've implemented and executed in my life that has gotten me where I am. And I'm just sharing that process with you guys. As well as tomorrow night at 6 p.m., we have some executives from home office, and we're going to do a compliance call so that we could protect everyone's business. And what we're going to talk about on that compliance calls is everything that you can do and not do in this business. So it'd be good for you guys to tune in when it comes to social media, what you can say, what you can't say, what you can post, what you can't post. So we just had some people getting in trouble and doing things. So I just wanted to get corporate involved to have a conversation with our team so that nobody gets in trouble about this call. So Lola's put those things in the chat tomorrow at 6 p.m. Make sure you invite people to both calls, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. tomorrow, so that no one loses their account for doing something that they were unaware of and unintentionally. So I hope to see you guys on those calls tomorrow, 2 and 6. And Lola, you can also put the link in the chat as well if you want for that call at 2 o'clock tomorrow, that Zoom link if they don't have it. So I wanted start off with doing testimonials. So if you guys want to, I see Yanetzi's hands up, which is always the first hands up. Yanetzi, if you want to do the first testimonial, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Yanetzi has a great testimonial if you guys haven't heard it. But I would love to hear from all of you about the testimonial. So Yanetzi, go ahead.
Okay. Hi team. Hi everyone. Um I hope you guys can hear me now. Okay. Basically this testimonial, Jay, is not from myself. It's actually from a person who reached out to me the day before yesterday that she felt related with my testimony because she tried to get pregnant for 8 years, and then she gave up about 3 years ago, and miraculously after starting wearing the X39 patch she got pregnant. So she's now on her first month, so it's too soon for her to share the testimony by herself. She wants to give her pregnancy a little longer for her to make sure that everything is good. And but definitely I'm gonna be having a call with her because she's not sure whether or not to continue to use the patch now that she's pregnant because of all the um those limitations that the company says do not use while pregnant, do not use while in children, when she with children. So she basically is not sure. So we're having a follow-up call sometime this week. But I wanted to share you with you guys that this person is having some hope, and finally she's able to as another pregnancy baby, another patch baby. Hopefully she'll be able to carry her pregnancy full term, but after trying for 8 years, and this is the first time that she ever gets pregnant. And I don't think it's a coincidence, guys. I think that I know that David hasn't done studies on the on pregnancy, on infertility, on pregnant women, but something is happening because it cannot be a coincidental that is happening to multiple women, not just one after starting using the patch. So I think that we just share it with people, like, we don't have studies, but this is what has been happening, is good enough for someone to have some hope.
Yanetsi, let me ask you, how are you feeling through your pregnancy right now?
Jay, unbelievably, like, super energetic. I haven't had any symptoms of pregnancy other than my belly growing. I'm actually working twice as much as I used to work before, because since I want to go maternity leave on June, and basically putting a lot of stuff on my calendar now to be able to kind of take my time off at home after June. But I have energy levels skyrocketing. I sleep through the night, the whole night. All my blood work and all my follow-ups with PCPs are perfect. I have zero concerns, and I continue to use my X39 every day. And whenever I'm gonna be exposed to people, I use my glutathione for a couple of days until I'm done with with meetings and stuff, and that's it. I've been great. I,
So someone just asked in the chat, Yanetsi, how could they get your full testimonial? I would love to get your testimonial too. If you could record something on your phone that's like, you know, no longer than 2 minutes, but 60 to 90 seconds would be very, very impactful. I mean, even if you tie, like I would say what would be powerful, Yanetsi, for you to talk about is your journey with not being able to work out to, having pain to getting pregnant to your another friend getting pregnant. I think that would be really cool if you could do that in like 60 to 90 seconds. And for everyone on here, when you do your testimonial, and we're going to have this conversation with compliance tomorrow, but you cannot make any medical claims, right? You can't make any guarantees. You can just talk about what it's done for you. And so, as long as you do that, we can use those testimonials. And I think, the more powerful testimonials that we have from people that are working, it's going to help all of us in our business to do that. So I want to let you guys know that. And Yanati, if you could send that to Lola and everyone tonight that gives a testimony, if you guys could send it to Lola and Justin and they could put their information in here. We want to do a nice, testimonial, but if the testimonials are longer than 90 seconds, people tune out, right? So it's got to be a quick hit. So just, look at your phone and do the testimonial and get it to us so that we could do something nice. And then we can also send it out to everyone in this group to reshare as long as you don't make any medical claims. I had a gentleman send me one that he was talking about his heart and he's had a pacemaker. He's a young guy, he's a basketball coach, and he's had to get his battery changed in his pacemaker like every 6 months. And this is the first time in his life he hasn't had to go back to the doctor and get his pacemaker battery changed. And he truly believes it's from the X39 patch. But he used the word stem cells, which we're going to be able to use soon, very, very soon. We're going to be able to use that word, especially with the government change and RFK in office, but also because we're going to be able to prove and say that online again. So if you guys could share those testimonials, we would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So thank you so much, Yanetsi, for sharing that tonight. Anna, go ahead. And I don't know if you can turn your camera on while you talk to us, but I've asked you to unmute. So let's see. Anybody else want to give a testimonial? You can either raise your hand or let me see here. Let me go to a different view. Anna's got a raised hand. I don't know if Arcellus wants to give one. Anybody else want to give a testimonial of how this? We've got 104 people on here, so I'm sure some people have a testimonial. I'll share one of mine. My daughter was sick Tuesday night. She was in school, and then right after school, she's got a fever, started feeling bad. And we put the glutathione on her, and within an hour, her fever was gone, and she slept through the night and had no issues. So, me and glutathione with my kids has been an absolute amazing patch for kids to wear. And like Yanetsi mentioned, if they're going to be around kids or they're going to be, traveling on airplanes, we put the glutathione on them to protect them, and they have not been sick. I mean, literally, Luna was sick for 2 hours. She had a fever. So. Go ahead, Claudia.
Hola, soy
Hi,
Hola.
Claudia
I'm
de
Claudia
Colombia. ¿Cómo
from Colombia.
estás?
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Gracias, bien,
Thank you.
gracias.
I'm doing well.
Mi
Thank you.
testimonio es
My
que
testimonial
voy a decirlo muy
is,
rápido.
I'm
En
going to say it
diciembre
very
salí de
fast. In
vacaciones y
December, I
yo
went on vacation,
esa semana recibí a mi
and that
primer
week
pedido.
I received
Quería
my first
probarlo
order.
antes
I
de
wanted to try it
pues
before
distribuirlo a cualquier
starting
persona.
to distribute it
Entonces
to other people.
salimos y
So
por casualidad me monté en una moto, me quemé una pierna y
I had a ride on a
no era
motorbike
haberlo
that
usado,
afternoon
entonces
and
no
I
me
burnt
devolví.
my
Yo
leg.
tenía por el
So my first
ejercicio que
idea was
hago
to use
de
the patch on my
entrenamiento
shoulder because I
diario
have pain because of my
y,
training, my
y lo primero
exercise
que
that I
era
do
pues
every day.
utilizarlo en la
But
pierna
since I
porque me
burnt my
daba
leg,
miedo
I
que
put
me
the patch
doliera
on my
mucho la
leg because
pierna.
I was
Me lo
afraid
puse
of
tan
feeling
pronto
a lot of
fue
pain on my leg.
la
And the
quemadura
moment that I put the patch
y
on the
sin
burn,
darme cuenta en la
without
eso fue
even
como a las
realizing,
2
that
de
was like
la
at
tarde
around
más o
2
menos.
p.m., I think, more or
En
less.
un momentico no sentía
And
dolor y yo estaba feliz
suddenly
porque no me
the
estaba
pain went away.
doliendo la
And I was
quemadura.
happy because
Y
the
al día
burning
siguiente
I didn't feel the
me
burning
di cuenta
anymore.
que
And the
el
next
dolor del
day, I
hombro había
realized that the
desaparecido.
pain on my shoulder
Ese
had
fue mi
disappeared
primer
too.
testimonio.
That was
Y
my
más
first
adelante,
testimonial. And afterwards,
yo tengo bruxismo
I
y me
have
lo puse en esta parte donde me
bruxism,
estaba
which is
doliendo.
so I
Y en
put it
menos de
here
una
on
hora se
my
me quitó
jaw
el
because
dolor.
I normally
Para mí
close
son
my
muy
jaws
efectivos.
with
También lo
strength, and the
usé en
pain
mi
went away. So
mascota
they're very
que le dio
effective
un
for pain. I
derrame en
also
un
used
ojo
it on my
y a los 2 días ya no
pet
tenía nada. Entonces me
because the
parece
pet
maravilloso.
had a spill on the
Eso es
eyeball,
todo.
and after 2 days, it was gone. So marvelous.
Wow. That's amazing, Claudia. If you could do me a favor, Claudia,
Sí,
um, Lola and Justin put their WhatsApp chats in the chat. If you guys could send them a testimonial
sí,
about that,
sí.
in Spanish is perfect because we want Spanish testimonials as well for my wife's following. I would really, really appreciate if you could
Claro,
do that.
yo ya los había pasado, pero claro, con gusto
Yes,
los
I had
paso.
already
Yo
recorded
incluso a
it,
la que me ha
so I will
sido
send it
como
to
varios
them.
días
And
y
I
que
have
Awesome.
fue
different
el
days
proceso
of
de
different
cicatrización
testimonies
que se
showing
esperaba que
how it
fuera más o
healed
menos en siete
because
semanas
normally it
y
should
en
have
una
healed in
semana y
7 weeks,
media
and
yo
in
ya
one
había
week and a half,
cicatrizado de una
I was
quemadura
completely
de
healed from
segundo
the
grado.
burnt of a second-degree burn.
Yeah, and if you could also do me a favor and just when you send it to her, just write a text saying that it's okay for us to use your testimonial, just so that we have that on record. We've had some people in the past give us testimonials and then threaten us if we're using their testimonial. So we just want to protect ourselves and protect you. So anybody that sends a
Ah,
testimonial, say it's
perfecto.
okay to use my testimonial. We
Claro,
would
claro que
appreciate
sí.
it.
Claro que
Thank
sí,
you.
con mucho gusto.
Of course,
Thank
Jay.
you so much, Claudia.
Con gusto. Gracias a
Maria.
ti.
Thank you.
And thank you for guys for all the ones that are sharing. I really, really appreciate you guys sharing. Thank you.
Oh my God. Hi,
Hey Maria.
how are you? I don't know how to turn on my camera, actually. I lost it.
Are you on your
Wait,
cell phone?
yeah,
It's
wait,
on the bottom, it's on the bottom like left corner on your cell
wait.
phone. There should be a video camera and a microphone that you just unmute up. I think you muted yourself. Let me ask you to unmute again.
Good. And I don't know how to turn it on. So
It's okay. Don't worry.
okay. I'm gonna give my testimonial. Actually, my son's testimonial. Okay, he's
Okay,
13
perfect.
years.
Yeah, you guys it doesn't have to be your testimony. It could be someone else's too. I mean, that's just as effective.
He's 13 years old, and he's been having lots of migraine. I mean, unstoppable. He was on lots of meds, and he was with we have seen like I don't know 3 neurologists, and all of them were saying to me that he had migraines, and they didn't know why. We had to do lots of exams, and we didn't know why. And then I was really tired of using lots of meds. And I took all of the meds off and I put the Eon. We used first the X39 and then the Eon. And within 1 week, he didn't have any migraines. I mean, it was unbelievable. I took him yesterday to the neurologist and he couldn't believe it. He told me like it was a miracle. I mean, I don't know why. And I talked to him about the patches. Of course, he was skeptical, but I mean, for us, it's a miracle, a miracle. I cannot believe it. He was intoxicated with all kind of painkillers, meds, everything. And nothing happened until I used the patches with him.
That is so amazing, Maria. Like
Eso es
I'm so sorry to hear that he's been going through that because I myself I've never had a migraine, but when I have a headache, I feel like it's the worst possible thing that could happen to you. So I'm so sorry for him, but I'm so happy that this patch has worked for you. I mean, that makes me just so I hear these stories all the time, and it makes me so happy because, and again, what you just said, the doctor being skeptical, doctors are skeptical because they're taught something different. So doctors are not scientists, right? So scientists and doctors sometimes conflict, and doctors are taught to diagnose and prescribe medicine to overcome things, right? So I don't
Exactly.
blame doctors because it's what they know. I mean, for 12 years, they've learned about diagnosing and medicine and studies and what works and what doesn't work. But a lot of times the doctors scratch their head and they have no idea what's going on. They do all these tests, they try to figure things out. So sometimes I just think it's good to take things into your own hands and, like if he's not getting headache, like what is there to be skeptical about? I mean, there's proof that the
I
patch
know.
worked for your son, it's like, okay, maybe I should look into this, but it's just so against what they've learned for the last 12 years or their experience for the last 30 years. So I'm so happy. And I've heard this with migraines. I've heard a lot of people that have migraines that this has helped them. A lot of people will wear the Eon on their head at night when they sleep. That prevents migraines the next day as well. So,
Yeah,
and
actually, he uses on his head here,
yeah.
and he sleeps with the iron. And now he's not on X39, only iron. And we are so happy, and he's so happy because I mean he had even stomach pains because of the meds, everything, and he's so happy. And of course, we are super happy.
Yeah, and the meds are poisoning him. So
Of
what
course.
I would do, Maria, is I would just keep a close eye on him because I do know that the X39 is also good for migraines. So if he starts to get the migraines with the Eon, just make sure that maybe he's wearing the X39 during the day and he's wearing the Eon at night.
Okay.
So I think that would be probably the best combination. But if he's not getting headaches without the X39, it's not necessary for him to wear it. But if they start coming back, I would wear both of them because obviously he was wearing the X39 when the migraines went away, right?
Yeah, when the migrants went away, we eliminated the X39 because of the stem cells. I thought maybe he has lots of stem cells. I mean, he's 13 years old. So I tried only with the Eon, and he's been only with Eon like for 2 months already. And
Okay, good.
no
And no
migraines,
issues. Okay, that's good.
no issues.
Okay, awesome. Excellent. And can you do a testimonial for me, Maria, about
I
that?
already did, and I will send it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you so,
you have my permission to use it.
okay, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I love that.
You're
Anybody
welcome.
else? And I know, Lola, I think I see some questions coming in. Just keep track of those questions when we go to Q&A, so that we can answer all those questions. I know some people are asking questions about glutathione and all that. I just want to keep this clean testimonial and then questions. Who else? Eduardo, you have a testimonial. Lucia, um, any of my people from Destin that want to share any testimonials? Anybody else? Raise your hand. You can raise your hand by reacting or just come on screen and wave your hand at me. Okay, Lydia, there you go.
Sí, ¿me escuchan?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Allá. Yo después
Okay.
de casi 4 meses de
After
usar
almost
el
4 months
X39,
using
he
X39,
estado usando X39,
I've been using X39,
glutatión,
glutathione, sorry, Eon,
y últimamente aumenté
and
X49
lately I'm also using
Y entonces empecé a
the
ver resultados.
SP and
Yo
carnosine.
me he hecho
And that's when I
infinidad de
started
estudios
seeing
del
results. I've
corazón
done a
porque nunca
lot
encontraban
of
qué tenía
heart
después de
studies
anotar
because they never
ya
knew what I
desde el
had
2016.
since
Ahora
2016.
sigo sin respuesta, pero me
And
siento mejor.
right now,
Tengo
I
más
still don't have an
energía
answer to
y qué
what's
creen,
going
que
on, but I
también me
feel
está dando
better.
ese
I have
proceso.
more energy, and I also
Empecé a
started using
bajar
SP6 and I started losing weight.
muchos años con problemas de la tiroides,
Many
no me he
years
hecho
with thyroid
estudios y
issues.
quiero
I
esperar
haven't
los
had
6
studies
meses
done. I want to wait until
para
6
volverme a
months
hacer
go
también
by
un
so
estudio de
I
corazón
can
a
have a
ver
heart
si
study
ahora
to
ya
see if
cambiaron,
now
pero
things
yo creo que
are
mi corazón va a
balanced. But
salir
I
como,
think that
como
my
tenía
heart is going to be
y
at a
mucho
more
mejor.
regular level and much better.
Eso es lo que tengo.
And
Tengo
that's what I wanted
62
to share.
años
I'm
y
62 years
se me
old,
están eliminando líneas
and
de expresión
also my fine lines are disappearing
y
from
me
my
siento muy
face.
bien.
So I feel amazing.
Lydia, that is amazing to hear about your health. You know, it's funny, you know, a lot of doctors are skeptical about this product, but they can't figure out what's wrong with people, right? So it's like this guessing game. And, you know, my mother died at 62 from doctors. And when she died, I was upset. And the doctors told me that's why we call it practicing medicine. And I was like, whoa, like, you're just been practicing on people like we're human too, we don't know everything, but they know, or they'll be skeptical on this patch, you know, that's their first reaction is they don't know, and then all of a sudden people start having these transformations like you, Lydia. So thank you so much for sharing, and if you would be so kind to share that with us on a video, that would be great. And again, I know a lot of people are not comfortable maybe sharing on video, but I promise you everything that you share, it will be very, very good. Okay. It doesn't matter how good or how, if you think you don't speak that good, Lydia, what you just did is perfect. If it's too perfect, it's not believable. So don't try to make the perfect video. Just be yourself, just be real and share that video. And I promise you that will impact way more people than it being a perfectly produced, perfectly spelled out thing. Just get on, go from the heart, talk about what you just did, Lydia, right there. That you did that in like 65 seconds and it's super impactful. Okay. So don't overthink this. Lucia, I saw you raise your hand and then you took your hand down. So are you trying to play tricks on me? Go ahead. And then you'll mute. Tatiana, I'll go to you next. And then there was somebody else that had their hand raised that took it down. I see you. Put your hand back up.
Okay. Hey, Jay.
How are you? So
I'm
good to see
good.
you.
Thanks. You too. So my testimony isn't anything, crazy. I'm pretty healthy for the most part. But for me, using just the X39 at first, because I've been on it for about 7 months now. I've always had inflammation in my nose. So within 2 hours, I felt like I could take a full breath. So for me, it was easier to
Wow.
breathe. And then I felt lighter in my body, as if like I had more oxygen flowing through it. It was very weird. Like I felt very light. And then my sleep for sure at night recently, like during the summertime, I'd started waking up for no reason. Maybe I had a lot on my mind, whatever, but using the 39 within a week, I was like, oh wow, like I slept through the night. And then now fast forward at month 6 for me, it has helped my face or like acne. I think I had a sensitivity to between gluten and dairy. So I kind of stopped that, but it never fully went away. And it's cleared up my face about 85%. So for
Wow.
me, it's, yeah, just with the
That,
39. And then I added the energy patches and that's been great. So,
that's
but just
huge.
with
You
the
know,
39.
my mother-in-law is 68 and we got back from a trip and she like pulled her shirt down a little bit, you know, and I was like, she's like, look, you know, and talking to him, and I was like, what is she showing her? And she was like, all the lines on my chest are gone.
Mhm.
Like she, you know, 68 years old, your skin starts from sun and everything starts to like age or whatever. And she had lines on her chest, and she was like, all the lines on my chest, it's smooth. She's like, I was looking in the mirror the other day, and she was like, I was like, what
That's
happened? Like, what's
awesome.
going on? And so yeah, so she noticed a huge difference. Do me a favor, say hello to your amazing husband. I miss him. Tell him that I think about him on a daily basis. So
I
he
will.
really
I
had an
will. He
impact
talks
on
about you
me.
all the time. And I was like, you better get on a call soon.
I know that was my next question, but I was going to be nice and just say
Yeah.
I miss
Oh
him.
no.
But He should jump on a call soon. So
Yes,
tell him I said hello. She's got an amazing husband. I met him
I
in
will.
Destin, and we get to have every morning. Him and I were the first ones up, and he was making breakfast for everyone. It was awesome. Tatiana,
Hi, how are you?
hello. I'm so good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm happy and excited to share my testimony with you. This is a recent one because I have several, but I broke my toe on my left foot last Monday, and I went to the doctor on Tuesday, and he's like, "Well, there's not much we can do. Um, you're just gonna have to like buddy tape it to the next finger, to the next toe, and just wait it out." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." And he saw that I had other patches on my body, and he's like, "Oh, I've heard of those." He's like, "I don't know how they work, but I think they do work." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll send you information." Anyway, so I decided that I would put the X39 on top of that toe. The next day, it was even more bruised, but the swelling had gone down significantly, and my pain was like a 10%, which, because the night before, I mean, it was unbearable. Like I could feel the toe pulsating, horrible. And today, I mean, I have no bruise. I can actually wiggle it. I'm sure it's still a little bit broken, but I feel like it's on the mend. And he said that minimum like 2 weeks, and this happened like, I don't know. I guess the
Nine
bruising
days
went
ago.
down by
Yeah.
the fourth day.
Yeah.
Um, and no pain, which, yay.
Yeah, that my wife, we were on a weekend and she's had problems with her wrist, I think from holding babies and doing, and so she's got a couple cortisone shots in it over the last couple years to make it go away. And we do like a staycation, just her and I, like on a Friday and Saturday night, just to kind of have some time alone with just her and I. And she woke up Saturday and she was like, my wrist is killing me.
Uh-huh.
And I just said, well, why don't you put the patch like right on your wrist? And she was like, it's not, come on. I mean, it's not gonna take it away like that. I was like, well, just try, just put it on your wrist. And so like 30 minutes later, she was like, she was like, I hate you. And I was like, why? She was like, can you believe I have no pain in my wrist right now? This is crazy. She was like, I thought you were so full of crap, like saying put on my wrist, it was going to take it away. And I'm so used to that pain being there for like a week or 2 weeks before it goes away. And I gotta get a cortisone shots. And she was like, I can completely move my wrist and it has no pain in it. She was like, this is so crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy what
It
this thing
is
does.
crazy because the on Tuesday morning when I put the patch for the first time, um my pain went down to like a 20% within maybe 30 minutes. I always hear these testimonies of people in pain, and thank God that's not my issue. Um,
Correct.
but this time it was my issue. And I always thought it was, I don't know, like they were full of it. But now I know they are not. It does
Yeah, yeah,
work.
yeah. I know. I know.
It's
I know. I thought
crazy.
the same thing because I mean, I had a lot of pain. That's why I even looked into it. And it took me about 2.5 months for the pain to leave my body completely, and I mean, I had a lot of other benefits from it, like sleep and energy, but the pain, it took a little while. And I literally, like, I mean, yesterday or Monday, I worked legs with my wife and I'm able to squat deeper. I'm able to do a lot more weight. I'm able to do things that I haven't done since I was probably 40 years
Wow.
old. And so, I mean, I haven't lifted weight like that. Like I'm just strong in the gym at 51 years old. And I haven't done anything different. I'm not taking any supplements. I do a whey protein shake that I've been doing that's very clean. It's got like 4 ingredients in it for the last 10 years. So there's nothing that's changed in my life whatsoever besides me wearing the X39 and X49. So that's the only difference in my daily routine that I've changed. And I mean, I literally feel like I don't know that I even felt this good when I was 30. Because I had a lot of aches and pains from playing sports in college. And, so I was always dealing with stuff, going to chiropractors, doing acupuncture, and just trying to like minimize the pain. And I literally have zero pain in my body, which is the best feeling in the entire world. All right, Carolina, I'm going to go to you. And Tatiana, if you would share that with us,
Yes, for
in a
sure.
video,
For sure.
I would love
Would you
that.
like it in English or Spanish or both?
You could do both, would be
Okay.
awesome. If you could, and that goes to anybody. If you could speak English and Spanish, if you could do it in both
I
languages
even
so that
have
we
the
could.
pictures I can include, so
Okay,
because I
cool. Yeah, that's
documented
perfect.
it with pictures.
Yeah, that would be great. If you could share that with us, that would be great in
Sure.
Spanish and English so that my wife can share it as well
For sure, for
with her
sure,
audience.
for sure.
Carolina,
Hola, yo era la que
hola.
subía y bajaba la mano.
I was the one that was lifting my hand and lowering it, raising and lowering it. All my testimonials are short, so I was embarrassed to share them. But my personal testimonial is that I've had pain in the coccyx area for over a year. Every night I would have a crisis, and I had to take something each night to calm that pain. I was using X39 and only X39. The pain wouldn't go away. And that made me feel very sad because I was thinking it works for lowering inflammation, for losing weight, for a lot of things, but it was not taking away the pain from my lumbar area. I added carnosin every 2 days. I put it on, and I think that that combination has helped me because what happened was that I didn't remember that I hadn't had the pain. It had been days since I wasn't feeling the pain, but I hadn't realized that until the other day that my husband asked me, "You're not complaining about the tailbone?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not because I don't feel pain anymore. It went away and I hadn't realized it had gone away." And, it just happened suddenly from one moment to another, and I haven't felt pain. I haven't had crisis anymore. The other things that I've noticed are that before I used to wake up feeling very swollen, my eyes, my hands, I would feel pain. And now I wake up super unswollen. And before I would look at myself in the mirror in the morning and I felt horrible because I was embarrassed of going out like how I looked. But right now, with this reduction of the inflammation, I wake up and I like what I see. So X39 is something that helped me because I think I suffered from chronic inflammation, and X39 has made that disappear. Another thing that I wanted to share is that I don't have authorization to share this on social media and so on, but I can share it here. The other day, there was a small child, a 2-year-old, that came visit, and he hit himself against wooden furniture that I have, and he hit himself hard. And the first thing I thought was to grab an Eon patch, and I patched the child. I want to show you, I don't know if you see it, how he hit his forehead and eye. His mom also works a patch business with me, so she trusted me. I patched him, and this is 1 hour later.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And I saw him on Friday because it was my daughter's birthday, and he doesn't have anything, not even a little scratch, nothing. So those patches are amazing. And that's what I meant. It's short little testimonials that I wanted to share. But the child's bruise immediately reduced, and after a week, he didn't even have a scratch, absolutely nothing. And that's all.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Cheryl, because you have your hand up, let's just make this 90 seconds so I can make sure I can answer some questions before we go tonight. Go ahead.
Hola, hola, buenas tardes.
Hi, good evening.
Buenas tardes.
Hi, how you doing, Mr. J?
I'm doing so good.
Mira, yo quiero contar
Look,
mi
I
testimonio
want
rápidamente,
to
que estaba
quickly share my
escuchando
testimonial
sobre la
that I
migraña,
was hearing
porque
about
pues yo también
migraine
era una
because
de las
I
que
was
después de
also
mi
one of
etapa
those
de mis
people
40
that
años,
after my
que a mí la
40s,
migraña me estaba
my
enloqueciendo
migraine started to drive
horriblemente
me
cada tercer
crazy
día.
horribly every third day.
Yo estaba tomando
And I
Excedrin
was
y
taking
empezó una
Excedrin,
y lo
and that's
otro es
one. And the
que
other
me ha
one is
reparado
that it
muchísimo.
also
Al
has
principio
repaired
fui un poco
a
escéptica y creí
lot.
que
At the
sí me
beginning, I was a bit
servía y que
skeptic.
no
I said
servía
that it
porque
didn't work, that
me
it
daba
didn't
mucho
work
sueño, me daba mucha
because it made
pereza,
me
me
very
dormía
sleepy,
mucho y yo
very
decía, no me sirve,
lazy.
no me
I would
sirve.
sleep a lot,
Y
and I
ya
was
lo
like,
había
no, this doesn't
compartido en
work.
otros,
I
en
had
otros
already shared
testimonios,
it
pero
with other
de lo
testimonials, but
último
the
fue
last
hace
thing
poco,
that
bueno, la semana pasada quedé un
happened
poco
was
enferma
last week I
de
got
un
a
flu
bit
que salió
sick
horriblemente,
from a
pero
flu.
antes de eso
And before that, I started to do cycling. Like when I was a child, I felt like a 20-year-old. I got my bicycle and I even recorded myself and I posted it. I said, look, a 40-year-old woman doing this crazy thing. I was grabbing the bicycle as if I was doing weights with it. It was crazy because I started feeling incredibly strong. And I said, okay, I'm going to grab my bike. And I just recorded myself doing that. And I also got on top of the bike like a 15-year-old. So it was spectacular, the energy that I got from it, because I say to people, a 40-year-old woman who has already been a mom, who has done everything, who is starting the next stage in life, this is crazy. So I say to people, the patch is the patch of happiness. It is the patch of restoration. It is the patch of starting a new area of our lives with the same energy as we had before. There is a conference person that says it's as if they had taken away the clouds from our eyes and we see happiness again. That's my testimony today. Thank you.
Awesome, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. You have so much energy. A lot of times when we get sleepy, it's because we're going through a lot of detox. So when people get really sleepy with this, they're either not hydrated enough and or they're just going through a major detox because, one of the things that you said, Cheryl, is that you took a lot of Excedrin. And Excedrin is a toxin that we're putting into our body. So there might have been, because you were trying to treat one problem, you had a lot of toxicity in your body from those pills you were taking. So a lot of times when we're detoxing, the side effect of that is that we get tired because our bodies are working so hard to get stuff out. So that could have been why in the beginning. I've had a couple people say that. I'm like, listen, drink a lot of water, fight through this. If you give it 2 or 3 weeks to fight through it, you're going to come out the other side. And you're going to be so happy that you did this. And it's such a short amount of time. My son is 20 years old and he said the same thing. He started wearing it. He was tired. But, obviously he eats healthy sometimes, he eats unhealthy sometimes. I'm like, just go through the process, let your body detoxify, and then and now he loves it. He can't imagine not having it at 20 years old. He's getting a benefit out of it. So Lola, let's go ahead and go through some of the questions real quick. And then if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, you can raise your hand and or you could put them in the chat if you're not comfortable talking. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're not comfortable talking on camera, you got to get comfortable, you guys. If you want to build a business, you've got to get really, really comfortable with being uncomfortable. And in order to do that, this is a place to do it. Someone said I was going to share, I wasn't going to share. Like, there's no reason to be nervous. We're all one team. No one's going to think anything of you, what you're sharing, a question you're asking. Like, if you're thinking a question, you're like, I don't want to ask that question. Like, it's probably a good question. And probably someone else is thinking that question. So you could do us all a favor and ask that question so that we can make sure that we can get that question answered. So Lola, go ahead with the questions that you have, and then we'll go to the questions as if they keep coming in the chat or if someone wants to raise their hand.
¿Qué parche le
What
recomienda a una
patch do
persona
you
que
recommend
tiene menopausia
for a
y
person
está
with
con mucha
menopause and
ansiedad?
a lot of anxiety?
So that's easy. My wife is not in menopause, but she wears the glutathione every other day, 24 hours on, 24 hours off. She wears the SP6 every day for 12 hours. She wears the X39 and as well as she wears the Eon. And she wears the Eon at night. So she wears typically 4 patches during the day. She wears X39, X49, SP6, and glutathione every other day. And then at night, we both wear Eon, Alavita, and we wear the sleep one. And so that's our protocol that we do every single day. And it's improved our sleep. The Eon, I wake up, like people talk about here, I have no inflammation in my body whatsoever. I don't have a puffy face, I don't have puffy hands. My stomach is flat. So that's the protocol that we wear. But for menopause, or hormone balance. They say to wear the X39, the SP6, and then the glutathione every other day.
Las
Go ahead,
personas que
Lola.
People who
recibieron
have received chemotherapy due to cancer 5 months ago, but now they take medication for the rest of their lives, can they use X39?
Yes. They just cannot use the X39 if they're currently using chemotherapy. If they're done with chemotherapy, by all means, they should use the patch for sure. I would do if they're not on chemotherapy, the patch protocol that I would tell someone going through cancer is carnosine, Eon, and X39.
Jay, there's a question. My mom 12 years ago had a tumor on a kidney and was removed. Thank God everything is okay, but now she can use the patch even she had has one kidney.
Absolutely, she should use the patch for sure. She should definitely use the X39 patch. And she should use the carnosine. The carnosine is for your organs, like your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas, your brain, your heart. That's what that patch is good for. So use the carnosine and the X39. By all means, it's going to help everything in her body. It's going to help keep that other kidney very, very healthy.
¿Qué opinas sobre
What
ponerle el
is your
parche
opinion on
X39
patching
a menores de 18
X39
años?
with a person younger than 18?
So, it depends. I mean, like, it depends on what they're going through. If they don't have any issues, if they're not dealing with anything, then I mean, I don't patch my kids with the X39 unless, they've had pain or they've hurt something or, we progressively lose stem cells from the age of 0 to 30. So an 18 or 20-year-old has maybe 70% of their stem cells. They've probably lost 30% of them by the time they're 20 years old, because by the time they're 30, it's 50%, right? So it just depends. If they're having issues, if they're having migraines, if they're having health issues, boosting their stem cells is not a bad thing. So it just depends on what they're dealing with, if I would put it on them or not. This is what I will tell you. The X39 is not going to harm anybody, you guys, right? There's no chemicals, there's no stimulants, there's no drugs whatsoever in this patch. So the only thing that this is going to do is stimulate light in your body and maybe wake up and make those stem cells stronger and last longer and not go dormant. So the patches are not going to harm anybody. There's no side effects to the patches. The only side effect is if you don't drink enough water and if you don't do it consistently, it's not going to work, but it's not going to harm you in any way. I mean, there's kids that are wearing the X39 that, have autism at 3 years old or have eating problems, or, you heard about the 13-year-old boy that wears it, wore it for a while to get rid of his headaches along with Eon. So it's not going to harm you guys.
¿Sabes si hay personas a que les retrasa la regla
Do you
el
know if there's
X39?
people that X39 can make their period take longer to arrive?
I haven't, guys, I don't know much about that kind of stuff. All I know is the SP6, the glutathione, and the X39 help regulate hormones. When you are stimulating stem cells in your body, maybe it could throw off your cycle a little bit, possibly. As your body and your genes are resetting in your body. It could be a possibility, but I don't think on a regular basis. I mean, the stem cell X39 patch more regulates your body than deregulates your body. But if you have toxins in your body, I mean, a woman's system is very fragile. So a lot of things could throw off, a menstrual cycle or PMS, or, it could be stress related. There's so many things that, you know, I mean, I'm happy that I'm a man and I don't have to deal with the what you guys have to deal with a lot. Like there's a lot of issues that you guys have. And I just, being married to my wife, there's ups and downs in those. I don't think the X39 is going to affect it. Maybe if you're going through a major detox, it's going to throw you off, but there's so many things that could throw it off.
¿Por qué la gente que tiene un
Why
trasplante de
do
órgano de otra
people who
persona
have
no
an
pueden
organ
usar
transplant from another person cannot use the patches?
Because an organ transplant, you guys, is someone else's organ. And your body, the problem with organ transplants is your body could already reject that organ because it's a foreign object and foreign DNA inside of your body. So when you regulate and elevate stem cells, that the job of the stem cells is to make sure that foreign bodies are not in your body. So the reason you don't want to do that if you have an organ, now any other transplant, if you get metal put in your body, it's not going to do it. That's not what it's going to do. It's just organ transplants that are major bodily functions, kidneys, liver, pancreas, heart, um, brain. Those are organs that run. And if you put something different into your body of someone else's, there's a possibility that those stem cells work and go to attack that new organ to reject it out of your body. So that's the reason why organ transplants are not recommended to do this, because stem cells are a powerful thing. If you had stem cells, probably those things wouldn't have happened where you had to get a transplant because your stem cells would have been strong enough to protect it. But now that you have it, it's just not worth the risk of elevating your stem cells to reject that body or that organ transplant.
¿Por qué los manuales
Why
dicen que los
in the
patches se
manual
usan
does
12
it
horas
say
y
that
hay
you use
muchas
the
personas
patches
que los
12
usan
hours and
por
some people
24
use them for
horas?
24 hours?
So the only patch that I use for 24 on and 24 off is the glutathione. There's no other patch that I use for 24 hours. You should not use a stem cell patch for 24 hours. You should only use it 12 hours during the day. Glutathione is different. It's for the immune system. This was just a doctor that recommended. I used to wear it 12 hours every other day, but someone told me that you should wear the glutathione every other day, 24 on, 24 off. Now, some people only wear the glutathione when they travel or they're going to be around people, but I'm on a regular basis with the glutathione just because I just feel like boosting your immune system is the best thing that you could do. I do other things for my immune system. I take a mild colostrum. If you guys want to Google that, or Lola, Justin, you guys could put that in the chat. AMAL colostrum. You could just buy it online from their website. That's an immune booster as well that I use. I also take vitamin D2 and K3, and I do AG1 greens. That's the only supplements that I take because I don't eat a lot of greens, but I also do that for my immune system and my gut health on top of using the patch, right? So the patch is a wonder patch, but you also want to do other things, nutrition and health related, to keep yourself healthy. And we're going to talk about this soon, but we're going to start doing events, you guys, every month. The Wellness Revolution, which is, everyone on here, we're going to start doing monthly events where we're going to do 5Ks, we're going to do yoga, we're going to do boot camps on the beach. We're going to do nutrition. We're going to have nutritionists in talking about diets. We're going to talk about sleep. I mean, like you guys see, I wear these blue light glasses after 6 p.m. because it affects your sleep. And looking at a computer screen and a telephone screen, like, sleep is the most important thing. So we're going to start educating this and really creating a community with you guys in the next couple months, to where we're going to get together all the time. And then you guys are going to be able to invite people to these events, friends, to come in. And then at the end, we're going to talk about the patch. We're going to talk about all the regimens that I just told you with the Amal colostrum, element T, the right food to eat, so that everyone's living a healthy life, right? The wellness revolution is not just about the patch. It's about living a healthier, prosperous life on all levels, even financial literacy. We're going to teach you how to manage your money when you're making a lot of money in this business. So that's what's coming.
¿Qué recomiendas para un
What do you
adolescente con
recommend for a teenager
estreñimiento?
with constipation?
Drink a lot of water. Um, and I would do Eon, because a lot of times constipation is inflammation of the bowels. So I would have them wear Eon under their belly button, like 2 fingers below the belly button, and I would just make sure that they're drinking a lot of water. I would also recommend maybe putting them on a half a dose of electrolytes. There's an electrolyte out there called Element T. I do it every day. And you can get it on elementT.com, but I would have them drink electrolytes, and also I would have them drink at least half their body weight in ounces. A lot of times constipation comes from dehydration, as well as constipation comes from stress, and constipation comes from inflammation. So it could be the food they're eating. There's a lot of things. I mean, I would talk to a doctor, but another thing you guys people can do for constipation is if you eat prunes and you eat dates or drink prune juice, that is definitely very helpful as well with that.
Si le fueras a contar
If
sobre los patches
you
de la
were
vez
going
a
to
un
speak
médico
about LifeWave
funcional que
patches
quiere
to a functional
conocer los
doctor that wants
patches
to
que
know
le...
about the patches, what would you say?
I would just talk about testimonials and how it's affected you and how it's affected other people. I've talked to plenty of functional doctors. It's a very interesting conversation because functional doctors know one way, and that's medication. And they have big pharma coming to their offices every day trying to sell them prescriptions to get them to prescribe to their patients. So I would just say, listen, just try it for yourself and see what the transformation is. Give it 90 days and see how you feel. And then, I would send them some of the stuff from David that's on YouTube and just kind of talking about it. Again, you have to understand that when people go to med school, it's ingrained in them that medicine and what's been modern medicine for the last 150 years is what works. This is outside of the box, right? And a lot of doctors don't agree with holistic doctors and treating them. So I just have the conversation with conviction and what it's done for you. You guys have heard some amazing testimonials tonight of how it's worked for people. That I just go into the conversation with belief and conviction.
Tuve cáncer de tiroides
I
y me lo
had
quitaron.
thyroid
¿Qué
cancer
debería
and it
hacer?
was removed. What should I use?
X39 is, definitely the best patch for that. Again, the combination that I love for inflammation is I like to wear the X39 during the day and I like to wear the Eon at night. And the reason I wear the Eon at night is for me, because it's a relaxing patch. It takes away from the energy of the X39, the X49, and I like the energy because I'm able to get a lot more done. So I've eliminated. I used to wear the Eon during the day. Everyone's different, right? It just affected me differently. It kind of took away from that energy that I had. So I wear Eon at night with the Alavita because they're both relaxing patches and help you sleep deeper. So I would say do wear X39 during the day and Eon at night. If I had thyroid cancer, I would probably wear it on the side of my neck, closest to where your thyroid was, just to help recover from that. And what I would also do is just pay attention to your drug dose as well, because it could also help you with that. Even not having a thyroid, your body could regulate. You just want to make sure you're getting blood tested every 3 to 4 months, just to make sure everything is good. And whatever treatment you're on for that, maybe you don't need as much with the X39 patch. I also saw someone ask about dogs. When I take my patch off every night, I put it on my dog's collar. So I just put a little piece of tape under his collar, and I put it under his collar, and he sleeps with it every night. So that's that. I don't throw it away every morning. I just put it on him, and then every night I put it on him, and every morning I take it off. Because my dog sleeps all day, so it doesn't matter if it's on at night or during the day, and it doesn't really, give him any kind of energy. But it's just, I'm just keeping him healthy.
¿Cómo has resuelto el tema de
How
parchear a
have
las
you
personas
solved the
para que
issue of
prueben y
patching
no sientan
people
nada?
for them to try
Incluso
it
gente
when
que
they don't
usa
feel
por
anything,
6 meses
even
y no
people who
siente
have used
cambios
them for
físicos.
3 months and don't feel changes in their body?
So that's a really good question, right? So if you know that happens with people, what I know is if nobody is feeling anything, typically they're not using the patch right or consistently. So, I was a skeptic for the first month and I didn't use it consistently, as much as I should have. I wasn't drinking enough water. And so a lot of times they might not feel anything because you have no idea how much alcohol they're drinking, if they're taking Adderall, if they're taking Xanax during the day, if they're taking Oxycontin, what kind of stuff they're putting into their body. And they might not feel anything, but what it's doing on the inside, what it's doing to their skin, they might not see those results for 3 to 4 months. That's going to be very far and few between the people that are going to do that. I just say, listen, just stick with it. I'm telling you the results I've gotten and what millions of people have gotten out of this result. So it's a very, very good question, but you have to lead into this, letting people know on the very, very front end. It might take you 3 days. It might take you 3 weeks. It might take you 3 months. It could take you 6 months for you to feel what I feel out of this. It just depends on how consistent you are, how much water you're drinking, and what you're dealing with in your body. I mean, they might be dealing with something that they have no idea. It could be helping with inflammation and preventing cancer for them that they could have gotten if they wouldn't have worn this patch. So I just go into people and I don't set an expectation that they're going to feel something. I think that's the biggest mistake is people lead with it. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel more energy. You're going to get more sleep. And most people don't track their sleep. They don't even know. So it's again, don't lead with that. Just talk about what the possibilities are and what you've heard about this patch. what I talked about last night, you guys, on my training is this. 30% of people are going to jump right in and get this. Another 30% are going to take a little time. And there's going to be another 40% that's never going to do anything. They're going to be skeptics. They're going to be pessimists. You're never going to get them in the business. It doesn't matter what you do. They're never going to believe in it. You're a snake oil salesman. And you just got to know that going into this, you guys. And you can't base your opinions on those people. The problem is when people have those opinions, you start to believe them yourself. And everyone on here has heard these testimonials. You can't believe them yourself. I wake up every single day, know what this patch does, and I know what it's done for people. All right, guys, I'm going to answer one more question. And then we got to end the call just for respect of Justin and Lola because they've been working all day. So you could ask one more question, Lola.
Mi hijo tiene 17 y hace un
My
año y
son
medio
is
tuvo
17 and a year and a half
anatomía
ago he
y
had a
hematomas cerebrales.
brain hematoma
Quería
and he
ponerle
had a
máquina de-
cranial surgery. Could he use the X39?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, it's only going to help him. It's not going to hurt him. I would say absolutely. I would wear it behind the neck. That's what I would do. All right, guys. What I want to do is just remind you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have our 90-day massive action plan training. Tomorrow's our second call. Lola has sent you the YouTube link in the chat for you guys to review what we went over last week to kind of be ready for this call. As well as at 6 o'clock tomorrow, we got a compliance call with home office. Just make sure you guys share these calls and you're getting onto these calls so that you guys can hear these calls so that no one messes anything up with compliance. You're not saying or doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. You know, compliance is kind of boring, but it's probably the most important thing that we do in our business. So I just want to make sure that we're giving you guys all the information to set you up for success. And I just want to say thank you guys for being on our team. And I am so happy to be able to do this with all of you. And, you know, we're going to be doing some stuff together locally. I mean, you guys can fly in for it. If you're here local in Miami, we would love to have you at these events, love you to bring some people to these events so that we can build this massive, massive community together and really, really affect human beings and take human beings' lives to the next level, as well as people that want to go on this road and journey with us to create a financial future for themselves. We want those people too, but also customers. We want to meet everybody where they are in this process, if it's using this patch or if it's, you know, sharing this patch with other people. So thank you guys so much for being a part of our organization and part of our team. And I look forward to meeting all of you hopefully very, very soon in the future. The other thing I want to tell you is there's an event in October. I believe it's October. Let me see. I don't know if you guys are registered for this or not. Let me see. When is that event, Lola? On my calendar. Yeah, it's October 22nd or probably 23rd through the 25th. It's in Anaheim, California. If you need the link, reach out to Lola. I'm going to share it with her for you guys to register for that. You guys do not want to miss that event. It's not that expensive to go, and it's something that will change your life when it comes to, you know what, Lola, let me see if I can share it with you real quick. You can share in the chat to register for the event. Let's see. Lola, I'm just going to send it to you from just text it to you if you want to pop it in this chat real quick. But you guys should try to come to this event. I know I went last year and got to see a side of the company that I never thought. I had low expectations going to this event, and absolutely it blew my mind what this company did. I mean, we had Maroon 5 and Gwen Stefani perform for us. They paid two big, huge stars to do a private concert just for us last year. I'm sending it to you now, Lola. If you want to share that in the chat, there you go, Lola. It's in your chat. If you guys want to share that in the chat, and we'll close this call out. Thank you guys so much. She'll share that in the chat. I'm gonna leave the call up for a minute for you guys to grab that link. That is to get tickets. It's gonna sell out very, very soon. But it will be worth your investment to go out there and, you know, see 15,000 people doing the same thing that you're doing and realize this is a real business. So you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys very, very soon.